Defensively for the Mets, brought to you by CarShield. Zach Thornton and Luis Torrens are the battery today. Tyrone Taylor gets the start in left field. Soto will be your DH. And Wagaman again at first base today was short on that right side as facing the lefty Peyton Tolley.
So Bo Bichette out for the third straight day. Andy Green said because of the schedule, this way he gets 3 days in a row off. He can come off the bench late if he needs to, but he needs to rest his legs. And so Bo getting a third straight day on the sidelines. That gives Zach Short an opportunity to play once again.
Well, this is a happenstance stat for you, Gary. Leadoff hitter Anthony Siegler has started 37 games for the Red Sox. They are 27-10 when he starts a game.
Zach Thornton, 24 years old, set to throw his first pitch of the afternoon to Anthony Siegler. And it's a fastball in for a strike, and we're underway. Siegler 2 for 10 in this series. Hit a home run in the Friday night game. What's amazing about the streak that the Red Sox are on right now, they've won 8 in a row and 13 of 15, is they're doing it with a patchwork lineup. Guys like Anthony Siegler and Andrew Monasterio, and ground ball to shortstop, and backing off is Lindor to field it. Throws out Siegler for the first out. They're getting playing time from guys who really haven't played very much because Trevor Story is out, and Roman Anthony, and some others, and it's all working right now.
Yeah, Marcelo Mayer. Yeah, they've got to work. And well, one, they're not giving up any runs. That really helps an offense.
They're outscoring the opposition 45-12 in this 8-game winning streak. Here's Ceddanne Rafaela, who's going to his first All-Star game, and he fouls off the first pitch fastball from Thornton. Rafaela 2 for 8 in this series. He's hitting over 300 against lefties this year. Red Sox as a team are hitting 31 points higher against lefties than they are against righties. Rafaela with a swing and a miss and a high fastball, and it's 0-2. Thornton, when he's at his best, is going to fill the strike zone. We saw that in his last start against the Phillies. He walked only 1 in 6 innings. Got hit very hard in the first inning, but survived it and gave up just 1 run over 6. And Rafaela swings and misses, but Torrens has to chase it down and throws him out. Nicely done by Torrens. Quickly to the backstop. 2-3 put out on the strikeout for the second out.
Who said catchers aren't athletes? How quick Torrens get on that ball. He was trying to frame it, and Rafaela swung through it, but kind of on the run throws a perfect dart strike to Wagaman at first.
Oh yeah, can he throw well?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. So here's Wilyer Abreu and his backwards numbers. .355 against lefties this year. If he could hit right-handers as well as he hits lefties, he'd be an MVP candidate.
Well, he kind of cuts down on his swing and stays in there, keeps that front shoulder in against lefties. Maybe less slug.
And Cutter in for a strike, and it's 1-1. There's that bread and butter pitch for Thornton, which in his first 2 starts in the big leagues, he threw 45% of the time. He's got a little sweeper that he'll mix in. And Abreu flies one out to right. Should be easy for Benj. And so Thornton opens the day with a 1-2-3 inning. Mets come to bat with no score.
Parker.
A.J. Ewing getting set to lead off for New York. First time that Ewing has gotten a leadoff role against a left-hander. That's lineup brought to you by Stop and Shop. Eric Wagaman moves up to the cleanup spot. Soto DHing today. Torrens in there up to 7th in the order.
Peyton Tolley's numbers on the year: fine ERA, strikeouts to innings pitched. Was a two-way player in college. 2 colleges, Wichita State and Texas Christian University.
A.J. Ewing is 9 for 22 on this homestand, including a couple of home runs. Again, more and more opportunities against lefties. In fact, he's got a couple of home runs now against left-handed pitching. Ewing, Soto, and Lindor against the 23-year-old Tolle, who made his big league debut last year. Goes upstairs with a fastball, 1-2, and most of what he throws are fastballs.
Yeah, he throws. He reminds me of a Jerry Royce, if you're old enough to remember how Jerry Royce used to pitch, but he throws much harder.
Pulled over the bag. That's a fair ball for Ewing off the sidewall, and he'll get 2 bases out of this. As Siegler, the second baseman, has to chase it down, and Ewing has a leadoff double.
Wasn't even close to challenging the first 2 fastballs, and then jumps all over the third, wraps it inside the bag, and that carom ensured that he was going to get 2. If it had stayed fair, he probably gets 3 out of this, but it caromed out and kind of sat there for him to get 2.
Did you see the ball boy going over the sidewall?
No,
that was awesome.
Something like from roller derby in the days.
Looked like a hockey linesman. Juan Soto 1 for 6 in this series. I mean, that was a great escape.
Outstanding.
Soto leading the National League in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and thus OPS. And that one goes to the backstop, and over to third goes Ewing. So Tolle off to an uneven start. A double allowed, and now a wild pitch.
Well, he's got a lot of movement and can be a little erratic. I think that Wong's got to handle that pitch, though, even though it's a fastball away from the target. He wanted it outside and down. Didn't even get a glove on it.
First wild pitch of the season for Peyton Tolle, and the Red Sox are going to bring their infield most of the way in against Soto. Goes after a high fastball. Tolle will throw 4-seamers, 2-seamers, and cutters. They're all fastballs of some ilk, but that's 89 to 90% of his repertoire. Comes inside with a 4-seamer, and it's 3-1. You're so pretty. I'm so pretty. Isn't that a Bowie song?
Or You're So Vain.
Well,
but that's interesting. Got to find out about that. I'll have to ask my man Lou Merloni next door.
And Soto swings right through the fastball. Tolle challenging him on 3-1.
He's got a big arm. And when you say he throws fastballs, 2-seamers, and cutters, so does Cam Schlitterer, who's for the Yankees.
It's easy for you to say.
I know. Jeez.
And Soto is fooled badly and strikes out on a fastball away. You don't see that kind of swing from Juan very often. 1 out.
Juan, the last couple of days, has faced a lot of left-handers he does not know. And this grip on the side of the baseball, a little cutter that just, boy, runs beautifully, just a bit off the plate, and Juan couldn't handle it. Never see him look bad.
Now the infield comes all the way in to face Francisco Lindor, who's 1 for 7 in this series, and he gets tied up on a cutter inside, and it's 0-1. Wow. Get some rather confused hacks at the ball against Tolle since Ewing got to third base.
Lindor just took time out to kind of regroup.
14 games for Lindor since he came off the injured list, hitting just 173 since his return. And he swings and misses at a cutter, and it's 0-2. It's been unable to take advantage of their opportunities in this entire series.
Sometimes you can be too smart for your own good. Tolle threw 2 cutters that Lindor missed by a mile, and then just threw him a fastball upstairs that Lindor almost got to.
Eric Wagaman, the on-deck batter. Ewing at third with 1 out. Lindor able to foul off that fastball and stay in.
The Toyota Red Sox defense, Connor Wong's behind the plate today. Talked about Nate Eaton, Gary, getting the start in left field against the lefty. Romy Gonzalez as well at first base starts against left-handed pitching as well.
Of course, the Red Sox playing this entire series without their best offensive player, Wilson Contreras, who's under suspension. Contreras will be back for the All-Star game. In fact, I think he's in the home run derby as well. Yes. Not allowed to be in the dugout or the clubhouse during the game, so said he was going to go out during the game and buy himself a suit for the, the red carpet.
And Lindor cracks one to deep left field, headed toward the wall, and it's off the base of the fence. Ewing is in with the game's first run. Francisco Lindor, with his best at bat since coming back from the injured list, laces a double to drive in a run, and it's 1-0 New York.
Oh, nice to see that two different slow starts from Lindor, the one prior to the injury and this one now after the injury, but good at bat after a tough first swing. Finally measured that cutter and caught it out front. If you watch the side swing, gets that foot down, short cut with 2 strikes, produces a double.
Eric Wagaman foul tips one. For Francisco Lindor, that is his 11th RBI of the season and his 150th at bat.
Never got that ball inside, stayed out over the plate, and he drops it right in front of the wall in left.
That goes to the backstop. Another wild pitch. It takes a big carom. Durbin has to track it down. And Lindor is now at third. Second wild pitch of the inning for Tolle, who didn't have a single wild pitch in his first 14 starts.
It's almost like Tolle knows he's only going to pitch 2 or 3 innings. He's come out throwing as hard as he can and has lost control of the baseball.
So now the infield has to come in again. A ball and a strike to Wagaman with Carson Benj on deck. Wagaman takes inside, 2-1.
Maybe should have had 3 or 4 of the donuts instead of 5 or 6 of the donuts on that plane delay.
Should have waited for the breakfast sandwich. And Wagman takes a cutter that just missed, and Connor Wong's going to challenge the call. Wong hesitated a bit before tapping his head. And he gets the call at the bottom of the zone.
The call was overturned. Boston has 2 challenges remaining.
So that makes it a 2-2 count. Tolle's averaged about a strikeout per inning. He's in a spot where he needs one. Wagman able to make contact and stay on the at bat. This is going to be his 22nd pitch of the opening inning. And Wagaman takes a slider on the outside corner for strike 3 call. So Tolle surprising Wagaman with the breaking ball, and that's the second out.
Shane Livensparger has the late call on strike 3. This ball is a perfect pitch on the back door, especially after all those pitches into Wagaman.
So now the infield can back up with 2 out. And now Carson Benj, as you look at the umpiring quartet, this is a pitcher Benj knows well. They grew up together in Oklahoma in the same area. They played together on some travel ball teams. They played against each other. Benj faced him in college when he was at Oklahoma State and Tolle was at TCU. And he faced him in Double-A last season. I said, how'd you do against him? He said, well, I got him. He got me. We're pretty even.
Well, they both, as young players, are both 2-way players.
Yeah, that's what Carson said. He said he could hit it a mile, Tolle. And tried to tease him with the curveball, and he stopped the swing 1-2. Benj over his last 23 games hitting .309 with an .864 OPS. Trying to get Lindor in from third with 2 out. And Carson swings and misses at the curveball. And Tolle has 3 strikeouts in the inning. But the Mets get a run and lead 1-0.
New York's very.
The Intrepid Museum on the west side of Manhattan. Gets a lot of traffic. Very impressive ship. 1-0 New York. Romy Gonzalez leads off the second. Gonzalez 0 for 7 in this series. He just recently began his season. He had shoulder surgery in March, so he's only had 36 at-bats. He had a very useful year for the Red Sox last year. Played in 96 games at .305 with 9 home runs. But he's looked a little rusty in this series. Good cutter there by Thornton. 2-1. Caleb Durbin on deck, and then Andrew Monasterio. That's finally getting a hit with a runner in scoring position for the first time in this series, and it came from Francisco Lindor to get the Mets an early
Batter is
lead.
challenging the call strike.
Gonzalez challenging that strike call. Very low leverage situation, but he wins it. If you
Ball's
win,
overturned. Boston has 2 challenges
there's no
remaining.
such thing as a bad call, right?
No such thing. But he's got 5 strikeouts in those 7 plate appearances, so he's trying to change that up.
ABS challenge presented by Nissan. And that's too high, and it's ball 4. So the challenge helps Gonzalez to a walk. First base runner for the Red Sox today. Drive Around the Majors brought to you by Infinity. That's Rock Chalowski, who went with the overall pick to the Red Sox.
I know. I know what you're talking about.
J.J. Weatherholt signed a big contract extension. Push bunt by Durbin. Off the mound comes Thornton. His throw is true. Nicely done by Thornton. Good bunt by Durbin. So 1-3 sacrifice for the first out. And you mentioned it yesterday. This Red Sox team is bunting an enormous amount under Chad Tracy.
It's almost like everyone in the lineup has had the green light to bunt when they see fit. Now, if he pushes that a little harder, gets that by the pitcher, then it's a race to first base. But he did not, but it serves as a sacrifice for Caleb Durbin.
So the tying run at second with 1 out for Andrew Monasterio, who had a 2-run homer yesterday, his 5th of the year. 4 of his 5 home runs have come against lefties. And the cutter misses inside for ball 1.
Well, he got 2 fastballs down the middle yesterday. Home run with this one, and later in his next at bat, he did a triple. So stay out of the heart of the plate with something fast to Mr. Monasterio.
Good breaking ball by Thornton, and it's 1-1. Monasterio, who played for Milwaukee last year, started at first base yesterday, an unusual position for him. Finished the game at shortstop, and is at short today. Of course, their shortstop is Trevor Story, who had sports hernia surgery. They're expecting Story back probably sometime soon after the All-Star break. Zach Thornton pitched in both AA and AAA this year. That's his overall record since coming out of Grand Canyon University in Arizona. Born in Minnesota, now lives in Kansas. 5th round draft pick in 2023 by the Mets. And Monasterio lifts one to shallow right. Bench looking through the sunglasses. And that's the second out. So far, Thornton's been able to stay away from hard contact.
You're saying Grand Canyon. I think that's where the shortstop for the Oakland Athletics went. The son of the big leaguer.
Jacob Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's a Grand Canyon guy as well. Son, boy, just directly into the sunglasses of Carson Benj.
Well, Grand Canyon over the last 10, 20 years has poured an enormous amount of money into their athletics programs. They had Dan Marley as their, their basketball coach for a number of years. Jaron Duran. Duran really struggling. 0 for 8 in this series. 112 strikeouts in 336 at bats. So that's a strikeout every 3rd at bat. He's DHing today. They're just trying to get him out of a hole. And he grounds one past the mound. Right at the bag is Lindor. And he throws out Duran. Side retired. Thornton gets around the leadoff walk. He's got a 1-0 lead in the second. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From authentic jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, visit MLBshop.com/Mets, the official source for your Mets gear. 1-0 New York. We go to the bottom of the second. Young Slugger's ready for a foul ball. Tyrone Taylor leads off against Peyton Tolle and takes fastball outside. Taylor's been on something of a home run binge over the last week or so. Hit 2 home runs in Atlanta, 1 on this homestand in limited playing time. Now has 6 for the year after hitting just 2 all of last year. Tolle took a bad step as he threw that cutter.
Yeah, Tolle gets an incredible extension down the mound. It makes sense. He's 6'6", 250+ pounds.
And with the extension, that means that his effective velocity is even greater than the 98 that it says on the gun. So he's in the 98th percentile for extension. It's how far from the rubber he releases the ball.
Here's the motion right by the side, kind of keeps his arms over his right knee and gets all the way down. That's his mark, only about 3 feet from the end of the mound.
And Taylor takes a walk, and the Mets have a leadoff base runner for the 2nd straight inning. League leaders brought to you by Hyundai. 4-seam fastball is the weapon of choice for Tolle. Parker Messick, who's also a rookie, number 1 on that list.
Another rookie left-hander. Robleski's having a big year. Robleski, I think, is going to the All-Star game now.
Late. He was a late addition yesterday.
He started his All-Star run against the Mets in Los Angeles. Watch the leg kick for the big fella. I mean, that knee is all the way up to his chin. Big athletic move for a big man.
It's like Dontrell Willis.
Yeah.
Luis Torrens up to 7th in the batting order today. His last start was Thursday against the Royals. Taylor at first has a comfortable lead. And Torrens takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 3 called. I think Louis thought it was a strike, but he's not going to challenge. So Tolle's first 4 outs have all come via the strikeout.
You know, we showed that big motion he has in the windup. First, the pitch on the outside catches all of that corner. I don't know if they're high or low, but that definitely caught the plate. But, you know, he's so different from his complete windup, knee all the way to the chin, and then when he throws from the stretch, he just really kind of slide steps it home.
Taylor runs, Beatty grounds 1 foul.
As a pitcher, what do you have to do? When you have that high leg kick, it gives your arm plenty of time to catch up and be in the right place to deliver the ball. But if you're going to do a slide step, you have to be conscious of getting your arm out quick. Got to get it out quick so you deliver it in the same spot, because you're taking less time to get down the mound.
Brett Beatty had his 10-game hitting streak stopped yesterday. Getting another start against the lefty, hitting just 167 against left-handers. Tolle has 1 pickoff this year. Opposing base stealers are just 4 for 6 against him. Tyrone Taylor has not stolen a base yet this year. One of the faster Mets. Beatty goes after a high heater, and it's 1-2.
They've got great carry because the left-handers, especially against this high heater, have not been close, have not been able to lay off as well.
And And Beatty foul tips it for strike 3. Another high fastball. So Coley's got 5 strikeouts. All 5 of his outs.
Same pitch. We saw Ewing swing through a couple and Beatty the last 2. Foul tipped, but that ball is shoulder high.
So 2 out. Taylor still at first. Now Zach Short getting another start at second base today. His 5th start for the Mets. Zach has bounced back and forth between the Mets and the Tigers this year. And he breaks his bat, pops it up into shallow center. Rafaela comes in to get it, and that retires the side. And Tolley goes out and retrieves the barrel of the bat on his way back to the dugout. Nice housekeeping by the lefty. American League wildcard standings brought to you by Wind Creek Bethlehem. The Red Sox, who had the worst record in the majors in the American League 3 weeks ago, now only a half game out of a wild card. Nate Eaton leads off in the 3rd against Zach Thornton. Eaton making just his 9th start for the Red Sox. Called up when their ranks got thin with injuries. 29-year-old from VMI. That's Reed Garrett played at VMI, but they were not teammates. Reed was about, I think, 4 years ahead of Eaton. With the Keydets. The Keydets. And Eaton goes after a high heater, and Thornton's got his 2nd strikeout. Great start for Zach. We check in with Steve Gelbs.
Well, Gary, because Zach Thornton is starting today, we thought it would be a really good time to check in and update what's going on with Jonah Tong. Because going into this season, I don't think anybody expected that Zach Thornton would be that next call up on the pitching side. Everyone expected that Tong would eventually take that next step, but it's been a difficult year for him down in AAA. So what is the reason, though, for some of the regression that we've seen? Is really high pop-up. Zach Short makes the grab. Well, the number one issue with Tong this year is his arm slot has dropped significantly. You see the left is last year, the right is this season. It's about 13 degrees down from where it was last year. And the reason that happened is that he tried to learn the cutter and add that to his repertoire. And in an attempt to get that pitch to move the way he wanted it to, inadvertently, the arm slot dropped. Now, the biggest issue with the arm slot dropping is Jonah Tong's bread and butter is that fastball that comes over the top and has that high ride at the top of the zone. And because that arm angle has dropped down, it doesn't have the same life that it once did. Right now, the Mets trying to get that slot back so that fastball shape is where it's been in the past.
So Steve, he dropped his arm slot on his own for the cutter, or
yeah, it was an
organizational.
No, it was unintentional. So, you know, the one thing about Tong, right, is that he is so over the top that many of his pitches had been those north-south pitches, the curveball, the changeup, the fastball. And in trying to get that cutter, which moves east-west, it wasn't really working from that slot. And so, again, I was told inadvertently it slipped subconsciously, and that affected his other pitches as well.
Siegler flies out. Another easy inning for Thornton as he gets the Red Sox 1-2-3 in the 3rd. There are the numbers for Jonah Tong in the minors this year. He's also made 3 appearances in the majors with the Mets this year. Ronnie, if we're talking about getting his arm angle back up, how difficult to fix is that?
Well, I don't think it's that difficult to fix. I just think that he's probably lost some confidence, Gary, with the numbers that we just saw there. So when you lose some confidence, this is the first time really in Jonah's career as a professional he's ever had a dip. But I will tell you, when you have those dips in the minor leagues, if you're tough enough to get through them, they exponentially help your development down the road. Because when you go through those moments again, you're able to snap out of them quicker when you've had some down times.
A.J. Ewing doubled and scored his first time up. Takes a fastball strike from Peyton Tolley.
Guys, one interesting kind of side discussion that I think is worth having about this, though, is something that A.J. Minter told me about the technology that exists in the game now for pitchers as Ewing goes down swinging. This was independent of Jonah Tong. We were not talking about Jonah Tong, but he said in general, there is so much of an ability for pitchers to pick up new pitches now that he feels like guys too often forget about what works for them and their repertoire and their arm action, and they try and pick up pitches that they shouldn't be throwing. He said, I can't throw with the type of spin that Nolan McLean throws with, so I shouldn't try to throw with that type of spin. So it's an interesting tightrope walk, I think, for these young players now, where there is an ability to learn new pitches quicker than ever, but sometimes that temptation can come at a cost.
You make a great point, Steve, because at some point you can become a jack of all trades and a master of none of your original pitches.
Well, we've had this conversation a lot about Kodai Senga this year, and to the point where now the Mets have moved him to the bullpen with the idea of him being more of a two-pitch pitcher. Now, but if you're going to be a starter, I mean, the reason why Jonah wanted to add a cutter, as Soto swings and misses, is to have better success against left-hand hitters. So can he survive without that pitch? Should they go back to him just being a fastball, changeup, curveball pitcher?
Yeah. Listen, Tim Lincecum, who he is often compared to, never developed a great breaking ball himself. The arm angle prohibited him from throwing a great breaking ball. It just makes it almost impossible to spin it from that height, arm angle height. He did all right.
Yeah. Soto drills one to center, but right at Abreu. That's the second out.
You know, Gary, we had a nice shot before of "You're So Pretty" on the glove of Peyton Tolley. That's a tribute to honor his late mom, Gina, who used to say it to him when there was a lull in the crowd when he was a young player. He used to yell it out loud to embarrass him in front of all of his teammates. So that's how he pays tribute.
Mom passed away a couple of years ago. Francisco Lindor is swinging and missing a cutter, 0-1. Lindor drilled one off the base of the wall in left field for a double to drive in a run in the third.
It's our first time seeing Tolley. You impressed, Gary? I like this big guy. He's going to be a good pitcher for years to come.
Got to the big leagues very quickly, drafted in 24 in the second round out of TCU, and he was in the majors last year. Even got a brief taste of the postseason last year.
He's a little quirky. He's really funny. They love him in that dugout.
Lindor flies this one out to left. Playable for Eaton. And that retires the side. Tolley's got his first 1-2-3 inning. 1-0 Mets after 3. Today's poll question is brought to you by Ford. Whom do you consider to be the greatest hitter in its history? Use your phone to scan the QR code on your screen to submit your answer now. In our last poll, the results were very close among Carlos Beltran, Alex Cora, and Albert Pujols for who the fans wanted to see as the Mets' next manager. Fourth inning, Ceddanne Rafaela leads off against Zach Thornton. And he flies one along the right field line. Bench coming over. Plenty of room. One out. Well, the contact has been very soft against Thornton so far. Through the first 3 innings, not one hard hit ball. Hard hit is defined as anything 95 and above. The hardest hit ball was Anthony Siegler's ground ball leading off the game at 92 miles an hour.
Well, you and I were talking about it's like watching Dallas Keuchel in his prime throw a game. Just a lot of soft contact. Dallas got more ground balls than Zach does.
Willie Abreu flied out his first time up, and Thornton throws a fastball for a strike. Thornton last pitched on Wednesday, so he's working on short rest. However, that start on Wednesday, he only went 2 innings. And barely misses hitting Abreu with a strike. So he is in perfect shape to be making this start. And, you know, the Mets have a vacancy in the rotation, and off the way he pitched against the Phillies his last time out, he certainly earned another one. Got caught in a numbers crunch and was sent down, but here he is off to a nice start in this game as well. Let's open up play after the All-Star break Thursday in Philadelphia. And Andy Green said the Mets intend to stay in rotation, which means Christian Scott gets the start Thursday night. And I guess he'll face Zach Wheeler because Zach will be fully rested. That's a call strike, and it's 3-2.
Wheeler's pitching today, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So maybe it's like won't go on.
Schoolboom Wheeler. You know, when I look at Zach Thornton, he reminds me, if you want to compliment to a pitcher from today, Ryan Yarbrough a little, who used to be the bulks pitcher for Tampa Bay.
And a liner caught by Thornton. Wow. I'm not sure he saw that ball, but it found his glove.
Well, he follows through to the third base side, which exposes his glove open to the plate. So that ball kind of caught him. Sometimes you catch it, and sometimes it catches you. And that was more, well, it was a little bit of both, to tell you the truth. Good job by left-hander.
So now he's retired 8 in a row. Here's Romy Gonzalez, and he hits a soft ground ball. It banks off the mound out to short.
And another easy inning for Zach Thornton. Not only getting him out, but getting him out quickly. Friday Night Mets on Pix 11 returns July 24th when the Mets open up a series with the two-time defending World Series champion Dodgers. Coverage begins at 6:30 with the Cure Auto Insurance pregame, and then first pitch at 7:10. Ground ball over the bag, just foul off the bat of Eric Wagaman. Nicely snagged by the ball boy.
Boy, that was just foul.
Wagaman took a call third strike his first time up. One of 6 strikeouts for Peyton Tolley over the first 3 innings. Changeup fouled off, and it's 0-2. Meanwhile, Zach Thornton has thrown 4 scoreless innings, has not allowed a hit, and he's thrown only 39 pitches in 4 innings.
I mean,
Wagaman chops one to third. Durbin has to wait on the hop and throws him out 1 away.
it's a Randy Jones special. Randy Jones, who won the Cy Young with the San Diego Padres, was a Met, and in the 70s, he used to throw complete games. What, 80 pitches?
In about an hour and 25 minutes. Brian Bayo is up in the bullpen. They just called Bayo up today. It's been a rough year for him. Guy who looked like he was going to be a star a couple of years ago. But they'll use him to piggyback Tolley today. So this might be Tolley's last inning. Carson Bench struck out his first time up against his old buddy. And he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2. Tolley threw him a diet of curveballs the first time up. Fastball that Connor Long thought was a strike.
I think this is going to go the Red Sox way.
Long's already won 1 challenge, and he gets this one as well.
The call is confirmed.
So Ben just struck out for the second time. That's 7 now for Tolley, 2 out of the inning. So now Tolley's retired 8 in a row. That's got a pair of doubles in the first inning from Ewing and Lindor to play to run, but nobody's come close to a hit since. Taylor drew a walk his first time up. Three-year-old Peyton Tolley. A lot of good rookies in the game this year. But you have to think Tolley is at least on the radar as far as American League Rookie of the Year consideration.
He made his debut last year in late August for the Red Sox. One loss might not be great, but the hits, the innings pitched, lack of walks, big strikeouts, and that whip is a good sign.
Taylor drives one toward the left field corner, and that's going to go back to the wall.
And the Mets have their third double of the day.
A stinging two-base hit for Tyrone Taylor.
Well, he got into a hitter's count, and he jumped all over that cutter, it looked like. But a cutter that Tolley was trying to throw for a strike. You see from the side, quick bat from Taylor, a lot quicker than we saw from last season when it was a bit of a struggle. And 3 doubles for the Mets this afternoon.
And that's going to be all for Peyton Tolley.
So they were playing to go short with Tolley, and he's out after 3 2/3, and Brian Bayo will come in. That's with a 1-0 lead in the 4th. Bayo coming in. We'll be right back to Citi Field. '27-year-old Brian Bayo back from a 5-week exodus in Worcester.
Yeah, he last pitched in Worcester 11 days ago. Last season was his best. ERA 3.35, but a struggle this year.
As Torrens takes inside. I mean, even with all the pitching injuries the Red Sox have had, with Garrett Crochet down and more recently Connolly Early and Ranger Suarez, Bayo remained in AAA because the results early this season were just awful.
I mean, 78 hits in 61 innings pitched. That is an inordinate amount of hits.
Last game in the majors was June 4th. He allowed 8 runs in 5 innings against the Orioles. Torrens badly fooled on a sweeper, and it's 1-2. Torrens struck out looking against Tolley his first time up. Tolley fans 7 3 2/3. Charged so far with a run on 3 hits, a walk, a couple of wild pitches. Mayo last year had a 3.35 ERA, 28 starts. Looked like he was on the verge of stardom. Hasn't gone that way so far in 2026. Torrens fouls one off the shin guards of Wong.
Well, I think when he first had a bit of success in this uniform, they started to comp him to Pedro Martinez because he had a good fastball, he had a good breaking ball and changeup. But just has lost his way this year.
And even when he was having success last year, did not put up big strikeout numbers. Much more of a sinker ball pitcher. And the sinker strikes out Torrens to end the inning. 1-0 Mets after 4. All-Star game Tuesday night in Philly. Those are the starters voted in by the fans, including Juan Soto starting the game for the Mets. Shohei Ohtani and Nick Kurtz will not go because of injury, and word has leaked out today that the starting pitchers are going to be Christopher Sanchez for the National League and Dylan Cease for the American League.
Good job by the people in West Sacramento. Outstanding.
Dodgers and the Phillies have the most All-Stars with 6 apiece. That's about what you'd figure.
Yeah.
Figured the Dodgers would probably have 12, but, you know, 6 is good. Caleb Durbin takes a strike as we start the 5th inning. Zach Thornton threw 39 pitches in the first 4 innings. That's the fewest pitches that any Mets starter has thrown in the first 4 innings this season. Durbin pulls one foul. Oh, the ball boy almost made a great catch.
He laid out on the tarp.
We have seen some fine ball boy play so far today down both lines. Durbin laid down to sacrifice his first time up. Andrew Monasterio and Jaron Duran to follow against Thornton, who has struck out 2 and retired the last 9 batters after the walk to Romy Gonzalez that led the second. It's been the only base runner. And Durbin skies one to center. Ewing back a few strides. 1 out.
I was just thinking about the All-Star game, my rookie season, Gary. I think I had 8 or 9 wins at the break, and one of the writers who I really liked, I won't mention his name, he came up to me and said, "You think you have a chance to make the All-Star team?" I said, "I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I have a chance?" He goes, No. With Hernandez, Carter, and Gooden, no shot. No shot you got a chance to the All-Star game. I said, "Why did you ask me?" Jeez.
So because the All-Star game's in Philadelphia, we feel compelled to show cheesesteaks.
Okay. It's a big sandwich.
It's not the only delicacy that you can acquire if you're a gastronomic traveler in Philadelphia.
Okay.
That's pulled into left field. A base hit for Monasterio, the first hit of the game for the Red Sox. And Monasterio had himself a big day yesterday with a triple and a home run. Now adds a double.
Trying to go for the cycle in this series is Monasterio. Another high energy, versatile player for the Red Sox. Yesterday he played first base and finished up at shortstop. Got a long swing. But boy, it stays in that strike zone a long time. Watch where he starts it. Long swing, but it's there with a quick finish. And every ball that he's hit the last 2 days has been really in the same spot.
Good tying run at second with 1 out. Here's Jaron Duran, who grounded out to short his first time up. And he bluffs the bunt. It's an odd spot to be doing that. 1 out and a runner at second.
I know. I was looking at his numbers. You know, despite the average under 200, he still does have 13 home runs and 44 RBIs, having a Rob Deere kind of year.
I mean, when he's right, he'll get 15 triples in a year. And a knee-high cutter for a strike, and it's 1-1. Anyway, if you go to Reading Terminal Market in Philly, there's a roast pork with provolone and broccoli Rob sandwich.
I like what you're talking about.
Out of this world.
I like all those ingredients.
This is down. It's 2-1 to Durant. So, you know, Philly is more than just the cheesesteak. They also have hoagies.
Hoagies.
Which, you know, you grew up there with grinders.
Grinders.
Here in New York, they're heroes.
They're hoagies.
Hoagies. They're all pretty much the same, but, you know, with slight regional differences. There's a good cutter by Thornton away to the left-hand batter, and it's 2-2. That's his start against the Phillies in June, and this start combined. It's a nice line right there. Zach is 24 years old. Getting his big league baptism this year. Hoping to stop riding the Syracuse Express after his performance today. 2-2. Foul tip, and that one caught Torrens and went to the backstop.
Another good cutter from Thornton. Thought it almost had Duran there. Just tipped off the left shin guard, inside of the shin guard for Torrens. With that position with the one knee down, left leg extended, it really opens you up to the inside of that shin guard, which there's less padding, of course.
Just wonder, as the next couple of years go by, with the way catcher's positioning has changed. 2-2. And he got him with a breaking ball. Good sweeper by Thornton to strike out Duran for the second out.
So cutters, and then change it up with the grip of a little bit breaking ball. So not only did he miss it because of the break on it, but the speed differential took a lot off. He was out in front.
Now Nate Eaton, who struck out his first time up. I wonder whether any of the equipment manufacturers are going to come up with some kind of different protection for catchers that acknowledges the difference in the way that they set up. Some kind of innovation which protects their thigh, which is more exposed, and as you say, the inside of the lower leg, because the leg is extended rather than presenting the shin guards directly at the batter.
Yeah, I like your take. You put the onus on the research and development part of the game. I like that, Gary. It's really good thought.
1-1 coming, and Eaton takes the sweeper outside. 2 balls and a strike. Zach having a little conversation with himself. You ever talk to yourself?
Oh my goodness, all the time. But I didn't. I tried not to be open to John Boy being able to call me out.
Read your lips. Dora throws out Eaton. 5 scoreless innings for Zach Thornton. Halfway through, 1-0 Mets. Waiting for a contestant. Come on down. Come on. Take your place. There you go, Slugger.
He's ready. How many times the people that are working there get whacked with the bat?
Oh, wait a second.
Didn't even give him a shot.
Hey, what happened there?
Yeah,
Did he cut the line?
no.
Brett Beatty grounds one softly to Siegler. And on one pitch, Brian Bayo has the first out in the home fifth.
Yes, they had to get in line for Shake Shack or something. Oh, lefty.
Oh, the split grip by Ty Cobb.
Exactly, short stroke.
Speaking of short, here's Zach. Broke his bat and popped up to shallow center his first time. Did you tell me James Wood hit another leadoff home run?
Yes, he did.
That's 10 of them this year.
My goodness.
It's more than Alfonso Soriano had in his best year.
Remember, he had a great first half last year, then went hitting a home run derby. I'm not saying that caused it, but he had a tough second half last year. If he puts 2 halves together.
Oh, same as PCA, right?
Yeah.
He had the great first
That's
half
right.
last
That's
year
right.
and struggled. And, you know, they're both very young players, and sometimes it takes a while to be able to withstand the grind of 162. And Zach Short is out on 3 pitches. Good changeup by Bayo for the second out. Let's check out the road ahead for the Mets, brought to you by Tri-State Chevy dealers. The Mets get a short All-Star break. They have to come back Thursday. We, however, get a longer All-Star break. We don't come back till Saturday.
ESPN people, they wanted to have a showcase game on Thursday. Go for it.
Hey, it's all yours, guys. So we'll have the final 5 games of that road trip, and then the Mets come back home to play the Dodgers. Make their only appearance at Citi Field this season, starting on July 24th. In the regular season, anyway. Here's A.J. Ewing with 2 out, and he takes a strike. My mantra is always, until you're mathematically eliminated, anything is possible.
That's right, especially in today's game.
And all you have to do is look at the Red Sox and what they've accomplished in the last 3 weeks. The worst record in the league to a half game out of the postseason.
If you are a 500 team on August 15th in either league, you are in a race if you finish strong. I mean, we're talking about the trading deadline, and like there's a real science to it. There's been teams the last couple of years that have traded off people because they feel like they're a pretender, not a contender. Next thing you know, they're the Detroit Tigers.
Tigers, yeah, 2 years ago. That's exactly what happened. And Ewing goes down on strikes to an impressive inning for Bayo as he gets him out 1-2-3 with a couple of punch outs. Still 1-0. It's July 12th, but it feels like Thanksgiving because Zach Thornton is carving his way through the Red Sox today.
Yes, he is. You got to cover 16 miles an hour or so from the speediest of Zach Thornton pitches to the slowest of his pitches, but it doesn't account for, the standard deviation of each pitch. That a cutter one time might move 6 inches, the next time it moves 4 inches.
Standard deviation, huh? I think that's the first time that's found its way into our broadcast.
There's a plus or minus to that, Gary.
Connor Wong popped up his first time up. The Red Sox have had only 2 base runners. A leadoff walk to Romy Gonzalez in the second. A 1-out double by Andre Monasterio in the 5th. Thornton has done it economically. That's a little liner over third. A base hit. Didn't hit hard, but it was just high enough to get it over Beatty. And Wong has himself a leadoff hit, the second hit of the day for the Red Sox.
The Red Sox have gone 16-5 in their last 21 games. There's been really 3 main hitters that have had an OPS over 900. Great job there. Almost gets all the way up there to get it. It's been Durbin, it's been Yoshida, and Connor Wong.
There's Anthony Siegler. Let's see if he's called upon a bunt, and he does square. Very different kind of game that the Red Sox are playing. In their first 26 games under Alex Cora, the Red Sox had 2 sacrifice bunts. In the 67 games under Chad Tracy, already 16 sacrifice bunts, including one today from Durbin. Siegler is grounded out and flied out, 2 for 12 in the series, and ready to swing, and he flies one out to left center. Ewing over in the gap, plenty of room. 1 out. Health report brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. This is the amazing thing, that the Red Sox are going through this hot streak with so many key people on the sidelines. Roman Anthony, who was expected to be their best offensive player, out. Trevor Story, their shortstop, out. Garrett Crochet, expected to be their best pitcher, out. Ceddanne Rafaela, who has gone 0 for 2. What has really helped Boston, we've mentioned the pitching, and there's no question their pitching has been outstanding, but their defense has been top-notch.
I mean, the defense that the last couple of seasons has been one of the worst in baseball.
Rafaela won a Gold Glove last year, and there's every chance he'll win another this year. Wilyer Abreu is by far the best right fielder in baseball.
Yep. And
Caleb Durbin has really shored things up at third base, where they used to watch Rafael Devers flail around.
But Devers, that big trade from last season,
batter is challenging the call
has
strike.
turned it around as we're having a challenge.
Pitch was called a strike, and it's a strike.
The call is confirmed. Boston has 1 challenge remaining.
Devers, since May 1st, has the most extra base hits, 39, 944 OPS, and leads in doubles, 21 doubles, 17 home runs since May 1st.
Swing and a miss, and Rafaela down on strikes. That's 4 Ks for Thornton, 2 out of the 6th. Yeah, but he has not had much help. That Giants team has really struggled. You know who's been a bright spot for them? Casey Schmidt.
He really has. Ever since their third baseman screamed at him at first base, catch the ball.
Chapman, yeah.
So you guys were there then when that happened, right?
And they're playing Schmidt in the outfield, and he's held his own there. Here's Wilyer Abreu, who's 0 for 2. And he skies one to center, pretty well hit, but Ewing got turned around and finds it to retire the side. Thornton goes 6 innings for a second straight start. He should have more in the tank. 1-0 Mets midway through the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mets got a first inning run, and Zach Thornton made it stand up so far. Juan Soto will lead off in the home sixth against Brian Bayo, who's retired his first 4 in relief. And his first pitch curveball stays high for ball 1. Soto struck out and flied out, just 1 for 8 in this series as he gets set for his trip to Philadelphia.
This should be a little more comfortable at bat, though, for Soto.
Lindor and Wagaman to follow for the Mets in the 6th. Red Sox have had 2 hits. The Mets have had 3. Juan dribbles one up the line. Juan slides after it and makes a perfect throw. Nice play by the Red Sox catcher Connor Wong for the first out.
I mean, he uses this slide to be able to stop and be able to fire that ball to first base. Such an athletic play. He is not one of the bigger catchers. He's built a little smaller, lower to the ground, and that helped him there on that real athletic play.
1 out and nobody on. Now Francisco Lindor turns around to bat left-handed. He had a stinging double batting right-handed off the wall and left to drive in the game's only run.
I love this at bat. He didn't look so great early on in this at bat, but made the adjustments within the at bat to produce that double.
It's amazing when you look down and see Lindor with 150 at bats now and 11 RBIs. Slow start to his season, slow start coming back from the injured list. Maybe that 2-base hit is a sign of things to come. There is not a hint of action in the Mets bullpen. Zach Thornton has thrown only 66 pitches through 6 innings. He has not gone beyond 6 innings in any start this year in the majors or minors. He had 1 7-inning outing last year for Binghamton.
I mean, I don't know how you could rationalize having a thought of taking this young man out of the game. He's been so effective. Who cares if it's 6 or 16 innings? It's been remarkable.
One and 2 to Lindor with Wagaman on deck, and Wong will head out to talk to Bayo. Powerball double play is here now. Double your play with Powerball double play for just $1 more. Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Thornton has thrown as many as 90 pitches in a minor league game this year. So he's got plenty of room to grow in this outstanding start. Just taken him through 6 scoreless innings so far. Lindor watches the fastball outside. It's 2-2. Peyton Tolley went 3 2/3, allowed a run on 3 hits, a walk, 7 strikeouts. Bayo just called up today. It's been perfect so far. 5 up, 5 down. Lindor bounces one foul. The Red Sox DFA'd Danny Coulomb to make room for Bayo. Coulomb threw 2 hitless innings yesterday, and now he's out there.
That was
the life of the relief pitcher.
well.
Lindor skies one to deep left. Eaton going back to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. Francisco Lindor with an opposite field home run. His 5th home run of the season. Lindor has driven in both runs today, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead. A stinging double from the right side and an opposite field home run from the left side. Big day for Lindor.
And even his out was a fly ball to left field that he just missed. So 3 really good at bats for the Mets shortstop.
There's one guy who does not want the All-Star break.
There you go. Well, this ball jumped off the bat. Fastball up. He just went with it.
You know what?
Just wouldn't come out of the air.
You know what that reminded me of? Reminded me of the Soto home.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, with that great backspin where the ball just keeps on going.
That's got to feel good. It's tough to start the season, be injured for so long, and then come back and try to not only get it going, but with a team that's struggling, you know, and you're one of their leaders.
We talked during the Open today about the reset the Mets will have with the All-Star break, and you know, who knows what happens in the second half. But if everybody's there, if Bichette and Soto and Polanco and Lindor and the rookies and Roberts coming back and Simeon's coming back, if all of them are there, there's no reason this team shouldn't be an outstanding offensive team.
That's right.
After the All-Star break. Tap back to the mound. And Bayo makes the play for the second out. By the way, Marcus Semien, first game on rehab today for Binghamton, has a 3-run home. Robert is also playing today for Binghamton.
Robert's hit a couple of home runs, right? And for Binghamton, since he's been down.
The problem is now you've got the All-Star break, and the only league that plays during the All-Star break are the Florida complex leagues, which are the lowest level, and they don't like to send veteran players down there because the pitchers are so erratic.
They're so wild, yeah.
So what they're going to do is they're going to have Semien and Robert both here and take batting practice off Clay Holmes, who is also working his way toward a rehab assignment. And that'll keep them at least sharp enough that they go back on rehab at the end of the week when the minor leagues resume. And presumably, especially in Robert's case, it looks like he's pretty close, and Semien maybe as well. Simeon's come back a lot faster than anybody expected. Bench grounds one on the right side. Siegler's got it. Side retired, but Francisco Lindor's home run gives the Mets a little breathing room. It's 2-0. Well, in his third big league start, Zach Thornton has looked every bit the major league pitcher.
You know what I love about it is that his last start started out a little rocky against the Phillies, then he found his way. But he's been on top of his game right from the start. And what does that mean? What is his game? It's just that. First pitch curveball for a strike, a very seldom used pitch. So it'll fool the hitter. He's not looking for that. He gets a free strike. Then he'll go fastball away. He'll cut it back in. The cutter provides him the safety against the right-hander that can't get comfortable with the outside corner because they're always being rushed in with that cutter.
There it is, and the ground ball hit past the mound, bobbled by Short, but recovers and throws out Gonzalez one away.
And as the game's gone on, he's starting to get a little more ground balls as well. So I'm just impressed with the soft contact, the paucity of pitches that he's used so far to get these out. And look at the bare hand. You say don't use two hands. Well, I know it hurt Zach Short there, but using two hands kept that ball in front of him.
Now Caleb Durbin, and he skies one foul.
And when you're throwing strikes like this, Gary, the other team can't wait. They have to come up ready to swing the bat so you can get some quick outs. Pitching to contact, something we don't ever talk about anymore.
Well, I mean, the Mets had this kind of left-handed pitcher in David Peterson.
They did.
And, you know, at his best, this is what he would do.
That's right.
It's just that the results for David went so south from the middle of last year on that the Mets finally gave up on him. And now here's Thornton trying to replicate some of the success that David had. So far, so good.
And we threw up those pitches by innings. You want 15 or less in an inning. That would be the optimum. He's only had one inning where he's thrown more than 15, and that was just 17.
1-2 to Durbin, who sacrificed and flied out. And he goes down swinging on the cutter. 5 strikeouts for Thornton, 2 down in the 7th.
A lot of times, that's breaking ball there. A lot of times what happens for young pitchers, Gary, is they come up and they feel like they got to take their game to the next level. What does experience, even a little bit of experience, teach you? Got to pitch my game. I got to do my thing. And this is his thing.
It's Andrew Monasterio, who had the first hit against Thornton, a double to left, and he takes a first pitch sweeper for a strike. Thornton's only allowed 2 hits. He's walked only 1, struck out 5.
What's the shoulder tilt? And he presents the glove like flails it at the hitter. And that presentation will make him a little sneaky. It allows him to hide the ball a little bit, which are all good things for any pitcher. But if you don't throw 98 plus, it's a strength.
Monasterio has a double, a triple, and a home run the last 2 days. He pops one up in foul ground. Wagaman hoping for a play. He's got room, and he drops it. Well, Wagaman got there and took one little back pedal step and could not hang on.
That's a shame. You could hear Terren screaming, got room, as well as you did, Gary. But once he took that step back, did you see what happened? His head started bobbing a little bit, like he lost his gait. And once that happened, he didn't get it securely in the glove.
That's all right.
He's like, okay, come on, I'll get him. I'll pick you up. I love that.
An error on Wagaman, prolonging the time at bat. 2-2 to Monasterio. Changeup misses down. 3-2. Aaron Durant would be next.
Mature way to be when something doesn't go your way. It's over. Go back to pitching.
Rare 3-ball count for Thornton. It's a yanked foul. In fact, it's only his second 3-ball count of the game. He walked Gonzalez on a 3-2 pitch in the 2nd. And now 3-2 on Monasterio with 2 out in the 7th.
Fastball paint away. Let's see. No, going back in.
And he missed ball 4. So the error allows the Red Sox to continue the inning. Second walk given up by Thornton.
First time.
And now Jared Durant will come up as the tying run.
Sorry, Gary. First time I've seen some movement in the Mets bullpen. No one throwing, but it's just some movement.
Now Durant takes the first pitch cutter for a strike. On Thursday, Sean Manaea went 7 against the Royals. It was only the 7th game this year in which the Mets starter had gone 7 innings. Thornton trying to add 1 more to that. And Durant hits a soft ground ball for short, and that retires the side. Zach Thornton with 7 scoreless innings. Tremendous effort in his 3rd big league start for Zach Thornton, the 24-year-old from Grand Canyon.
And Santos drives one deep left field. Bay looking up at the wall, and it's near the top. Did it go out? No, they say in play. Flyers are coming out, and it's a home run! A 2-run homer for Omir Santos, and the Mets have taken a 3-2 lead in the top of the 9th inning. Hit hard, right with a beautiful grab. Low throw, and Castillo with a great pickup for the out. What a play on both ends.
Papelbon wants a W.
Might have been my favorite game we've done in 21 years. 2009, the Omir Santos game.
When Jonathan Papelbon came out of the dugout, Keith and I at the same time said, "Sit down, Pap."
And what we didn't show was the last out. Ramon Martinez filling in at shortstop and making the last play of the game.
And it was like a diving stop.
Yeah.
And got up and threw to first base.
That ninth inning was just, it was something to behold.
Do you think that's the highlight of Omir Santos' career? It's got to be.
Maybe his entire life.
It was.
I mean, it's one of the highlights of my life.
It was such a great game. I remember after the game was done, we all walked back to the hotel because it's impossible to get out of Fenway, and we ended up stopping and having a bite to eat and a drink because we were still pumped up.
So Zach Thornton getting congratulations in the dugout. What an amazing effort by Zach Thornton in his third big league start. 7 scoreless innings. Only the 8th time in 97 games the Mets had a starter go 7. Probably could go back out there for the 8th if they wanted, but Luke Weaver is up in the bullpen. It looks like he'll get the 8th inning.
No one knows what to do. It's never been done. I mean, what would you do? Like this. You know, they played some ball down in AAA.
You know, Wagaman dropped the pop-up, which made Thornton throw a few more pitches. Thornton said, "I'll get you," and he did.
Picked him up.
That's what teammates do.
Sweet.
Tyrone Taylor has walked and doubled to left. There's Weaver, who's been so good for so long. I know the rules now are that there are only 3 relievers allowed on each All-Star team, but there's got to be a spot for a guy like Luke Weaver.
I mean, I don't give up any runs ever. Can I find a place?
I mean, it's been 2.5 months since he allowed a run, an earned run.
You know what's pretty funny? There's definitely been kind of different streaks as Taylor goes down swinging. An all-star game pitching selection. There was an entire period of time where you only took starting pitchers and occasionally a couple of stoppers. And then it became all relievers that you took. But I think it's back. It's about 50-50 now.
Luis Torrens has been up twice, struck out both times. Facing Brian Bayo, who's retired 8 of his first 9. Sweeper in for a strike. Give some credit to Torrens, too, for shepherding the rookie through these 7 scoreless innings.
He punches one the other way for a base hit.
You can see where Abreu was playing. He was almost on the sidewall warning track against Torrens.
And still dropped it.
You know, the last time we played this, we asked them to turn it up. They really took us seriously.
Oh my goodness!
I hope the folks from Salino appreciate it.
I am calling them right now. I think I was hurt.
You only need one button on your phone. There's Brett Beatty. Wow, that was over the top.
Oh, that's this broadcast. 21 years.
You know, you and I have said this to each other. I don't know if we've said it on the air. Sometimes it feels like we're doing a satire of a baseball broadcast.
100%.
It's like we're the Mary Hartman of baseball broadcasts. And I say that affectionately because Louise Lasser just passed.
Right? I mean, I always say the Larry Sanders Show, which was a show about
Ziegler to Monasterio in the first of the double play.
a show about a talk show making fun of talk shows. We're not making fun, but you know, we're having fun.
We always have fun. Your Powerball double play replay.
Well,
4, 6, 3. There it is. We go to the bottom of the 8th, to the top of the 8th inning. Getting a little ahead of myself.
yes.
Luke Weaver's got 26 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run.
Yeah, the last run he earned was the free runner at second base, of course, in the Atlanta series. But he, what a first half he's had.
First appearance on the homestand for Weaver, so he hasn't pitched since last Monday in Atlanta. They face 8-9-1 in the Red Sox batting order. Eaton, Wong, and Siegler. After Zach Thornton threw an extraordinary 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 82 pitches, and puts it in the capable hands of Luke Weaver for the 8th. Eaton is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. And he takes the first changeup outside for ball 1.
I was surprised maybe that Yoshida didn't get the at-bat here, but probably saving him maybe for a time when there's some runners on base.
The longest streak by a Mets reliever without allowing an earned run is 27 2/3. That belonged to Jesse Orozco in 1983. So Weaver is an inning and 2/3 away from that mark. There are 2 other longer streaks in Mets history. Rick Aguilera, when they made him a reliever in 1989, went 27 1/3. And Mark Guthrie in 2002 went 27 without allowing an earned run.
Aggie, what a great arm he had.
Yeah, he threw 27 1/3, and then they traded him.
Of course.
And then he became a great closer with Minnesota. That's got Frank Viola in the deal, and Frankie won 20 the next year, but Aguilera was spectacular. Swing and miss. You know, Aggie was not the first closer the Mets traded away who became a great closer elsewhere. Jeff Reardon started out as a Met and then had a wonderful career as a closer.
Little Randall Kay.
3-2.
Swing and a miss. He got him with the fastball.
So Weaver comes back from 3-0 to strike out Eaton. You know, I'd say Randy Myers with an asterisk because they traded him for John Franco.
Yeah,
you know?
You're right. And he was closing games here. He got behind through 3 straight fastballs right by Eaton.
Garrett Whitlock up in the Boston bullpen, ready for the bottom of the 8th. Connor Wong is 1 for 2 at a base hit to left. One of only 2 hits for the Red Sox today. Grounds one foul. You know, as we move toward the trading deadline, there's going to be a lot of conversation about the Mets relievers, many of whom are having outstanding years, and whether the Mets will be trading them away. The situation's fairly obvious with guys like A.J. Minter and Brooks Raley, who are, you know, older guys who are both free agents at the end of the year.
That's right.
But Weaver's a different case because he's signed for next year, which makes him more valuable as a trading commodity, but also a piece to build around for next year.
Well, I think you have to decide at some point who's going to be your core in that bullpen next season. So, I mean, I think that Weaver is part of that future. It's got to be part of the future.
But the question is, in a seller's market,
Yeah.
what kind of return can you get?
Well, that's the bottom line. If you get something that you really feel that you need, you might make that move.
2-2 to Wong. Back past the mound, but positioned perfectly as Zach Short. 2 out. That's Baseball is brought to you by Pix 11 in partnership with Wounded Warrior Project. By Slomans. Visit ac.slomans.com for incredible savings on central air conditioning. And by AAA Northeast, providing trusted roadside assistance, travel services, discounts, insurance, and financial services for over 120 years. So Weaver's retired the first two. Now Anthony Siegler, who's 0 for 3. Zach Thornton, 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits. The last Mets rookie to throw 7 scoreless innings with 2 hits or fewer, Kodai Senga in 2023.
Popped up, playable for Beatty or Lindor, and Lindor goes out to get it, and that retires the side. 27 consecutive innings without an earned run allowed by Luke Weaver.
He has just been spectacular. The first 15,000 fans at the Mets-Braves game July 27th will receive Carlos Beltran jersey celebrating his induction to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Zach Short leading off in the bottom of the 8th against Brian Bayo, who's worked 3 1/3 in relief, giving up just the 1 run on the Lindor home run in the 6th. Short has gone 0 for 2 and tries to drop down a bunt, but it goes foul. 0-2. Ewing and Soto to follow. Devin Williams up in the Mets bullpen. Red Sox in the bottom, in the top of the 9th, will have Rafaela, Abreu, and Gonzalez due up. And remember, they've got Masataka Yoshida on the bench as a prospective left-handed pinch hitter. You know, sometimes when you're in the weeds, it's hard to really appreciate what you're watching. But for a relief pitcher to go 2.5 months without allowing an earned run is rather phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. Last time I think that the Mets had a reliever have this kind of run was the left-hander who went to the Angels after that season. Is it Rupp or Aaron? I can't come up with his name.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The guy with the beer cooler.
Yeah, the beer cooler by
Aaron Loop.
Aaron Loop.
Driven out to left field by Short. Back goes Eaton on the warning track to make the catch.
Zach Short does not have a home run this year. Driving one deep, and that's the first out.
Eaton did a nice job of kind of fading back to his right to make sure that ball stayed in front of him.
Boston outfield defense catches anything that can be caught. Speaking of which, did you see the catch Dane Myers made last night in Detroit?
I'm just surprised it wasn't against the Mets.
I mean, you talk about a Superman catch.
Yep.
Away and toward left center and full extension flying through the air. All he needed was a cape.
That's right.
He has been a big piece for the Phillies. Mets will see the Phillies right after the break. And, you know, they lost to Adolis Garcia for the season, and he wasn't really producing very much. So they bring in a guy in Derek Hill, who's been a journeyman player. And coming into today, in 22 games for the Phillies, he's hitting .354 with a .963 OPS and playing spectacular defense.
And the best catch here at Citi Field this year so far.
Ewing doubled and scored back in the first, 1 for 3 on the day. And AJ goes down swinging on a changeup. So Bayo has his 5th strikeout. It's 12 today for Boston pitching.
I mean, this is what you expect from Brian Bayo. He's got that parachute change that's the equalizer against left-handed bats. It makes you feel like, how did he get lost? How did he lose his way? He's got so much talent.
He threw that pitch to Soto his last time up, and Soto hit one that cued off the end of the bat and rolled about 20 feet. And the catcher long threw him out. If Soto could get on, then Lindor would get another turn at bat. Lindor's been the offensive star for the Mets today. He's driven in both runs with a double and a home run. But the big story today has been Zach Thornton. 7 scoreless innings in his 3rd major league start. There's a strike to Soto, 2-1. Mets have both their challenges remaining, so one could have challenged that had he chosen to. Red Sox position their defense interestingly against Soto. Big gap in right center field.
Yeah, and the center fielder is Rafaela, is so deep and playing almost in left center.
Cutter in for a strike, full count. See, I could do that too.
What?
Lift. John Boy or Vince Scully. Vince Scully was the best at reading lift.
He was very good at it.
He would watch managers and umpires argue, and he'd give you verbatim. Well, except for the stuff he couldn't say on the air.
The naughty bits.
Fly ball out to left center. It's Rafaela back onto the warning track, and he reels it in to retire the side. We go to the 9th. Devin Williams in to try and save it with the Mets up 2-0 on the Red Sox. Another rookie comes up and excels for the Mets.
Well, he was just so efficient with all of his pitches today, not just the cutter, the economy of his pitches as well, keeping that pitch count down. And today looked effortless to me of any pitcher that the Mets have used this season. Starting a game.
82 pitches and 7 scoreless innings. Luke Weaver tacked on a 1-2-3/8, and now Devin Williams will try and complete it. Devin today is bidding for his 100th career save.
ERA high from a couple of appearances Williams has had, but 13 out of 15 save opportunities. Good number.
Jared Young in to play first base for defense. Ceddanne Rafaela leads off in the 9th and takes a fastball high from Williams. So Devin last pitched on Thursday. Non-save situation and a win over the Royals, a scoreless inning.
Pitches in the games.
Fastball strike, 1-1.
He pitches in the games where the left-handed starting pitcher goes 7 innings.
A little looper into left. That's going to fall for a base hit. And so the Red Sox have traffic in the 9th. And Wilyer Abreu will come to bat as the tying run. Just the 3rd Boston hit of the day.
I think that was the changeup that he threw. Yes, it was, and had good life, and it was down. And tip your cap to Rafaela for looping that into left.
So now Abreu, who's 0 for 3. And he gets a changeup and pops it up. Short, shading his eyes, and he grabs it 1 out. After the game today here on Pix 11, Kate Rooney and Joe Masseri host a special Sunday afternoon edition of New York Nightcap presented by Nissan. It was interesting at bat from Abreu.
Yeah,
going after that first pitch changeup. They don't use Yoshida here. They're going to stay with Romy Gonzalez against the right-hander. He's 0 for 2 and a walk, 0 for 9 in this series.
And a double play ball that could end it, but Lindor boots it, and they'll get no outs. Looked like an inning-ending double play off the bat, but Lindor commits the error, and the Red Sox have the tying runs on base with 1 out.
I think you're going to see an up bounce, a late bounce that kind of came up off the chest of Lindor. Ball was hit right on the nose, but a play that you've got to make. And you're right, it looked like it was going to be ball game. Let's see how the bounce looks. No, that ball is good enough for the sure-handed Lindor to turn into 2. In fact, not a bad bounce at all.
So the Mets' second error. Zach Thornton was able to get around the first one. And now Williams will try and negotiate this situation with the tying runs on base and 1 out. Caleb Durbin is 0 for 2, 3 for 10 in this series. Red Sox fans starting to get geeked up. A lot of Red Sox fans here all weekend, and you can understand why. They'd be here anyway, but their volume is greater with an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, when you're on this kind of roll, you just feel like something good's going to happen each and every day.
And Durbin skies one toward the right field line. Bench racing over right to the line, and it goes out of play.
Lost his glove. Yeah.
We saw the ball boy go over that sidewall earlier to get out of the way of a hit, and Bench almost went over the sidewall too, but just his glove.
Yeah, he was selling out to try to make this play. And then the ball caroms off 3 or 4 times. Looked like a pinball machine.
1-1 to Caleb Durbin. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. Right before that pitch, Lindor, who was over in the hole, moved about 4 steps to his left toward the middle. Maybe knowing that the location was going to be away. Yep. 1-2 from Williams. And he just got a piece of the fastball to stay on the at-bat. Zach Thornton, 7 scoreless innings, 2 hits. Luke Weaver, a 1-2-3-8. But Williams trying to work around a single and an error here in the 9th.
Well, Williams has thrown 2 straight fastballs to Durbin. I would say the percentage is pretty low for Williams to throw 3 consecutive ones. So you'll see his best pitch now, probably the airbender.
Andrew Monasterio on deck. 1-2 to Durbin. Change up down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Aroldis Chapman hoping that the Red Sox can at least tie it here in the 9th. Two from Williams to Durbin. Again, he misses with a changeup, full count. Durbin came into the day hitting .297 with runners in scoring position. Three-two from Williams. Low ball 4, and Perez is going to challenge the call. Boy, a huge challenge.
The catcher is
right
challenging
here.
the call ball.
This is a game-changing challenge. It's a ball, and the bases
The call
are
is
loaded.
confirmed. New York has 1 challenge remaining.
What an at-bat by Durbin.
Mets still have 1 challenge remaining, but Williams has run out of bases.
I mean, I don't even know how he can take that pitch. I guess he takes it because the airbender is so good that the fastball surprised him.
The entire infield is going to gather around Devin Williams.
You know, if you're Lindor, you're coming in there, hey, give me another ground ball. I'll turn it this time. All of those things to just the positivity that you're trying to give your closer.
As the Mets gathered at the mound, Rafaela, Durbin, and the batter Monasterio all came together in a group near the third baseline. Maybe to tell Monasterio what to look for.
Oh, wow.
So keep their infield back at double play depth. Monasterio's had a big couple of days. Triple and a homer yesterday, double and a walk today. Bases loaded, 1 out. And a changeup in at the knees for a strike. Good start for Williams. 0-1.
Remember, we've said with the first 2 games of this series, that fastball middle away and up has been the strength for Monasterio. Stay out of that region.
Fastball down. The ball and a strike. Williams knows all about the pressure of pitching to the Red Sox. 1-1. And the change-up down again. 2 balls and a strike.
His best pitch is the changeup. The only problem with the defense you have in the outfield, Taylor's playing so far up the line in left field. If it's pulled down the line, that's the only chance Durbin's going to be able to probably score from first.
Ewing very shallow in center field. 2-1 to Monasterio. Away with a fastball, and it's 3-1. And the hole gets deeper. Jared Duran is the on-deck batter.
As we've seen in this series, Monasterio, great fastball hitter.
Behind 3-1, Williams with a fastball for a strike, and it's 3-2.
I would have challenged that if I were Monasterio.
Each team has 1 challenge remaining. Rafaela at third, Gonzalez the tying run at second, Durbin at first, 1 out. 3-2 coming to Monasterio.
Outside, ball 4, and it forces in a run. A bases loaded walk to Monasterio, and now the Met lead is 2-1.
And the tying run moves to third with 1 out. And Jaron Duran is going to come to the plate. Rarely getting up in the Mets bullpen. Duran is 0 for 3 today. 0 for 11 in the series. 0 for his last 15. Mets play halfway at second and short. A base hit could give the Red Sox the lead. If Duran is fast, then he'd be hard to double up. So he's going to take the chance and move in. And Duran swings over the changeup, 0-1. I said it yesterday, Duran's problem is he's been swinging at everything. Williams trying to take advantage of that. Duran, though, has a base hit in his only career at bat against Devon. Gonzalez the tying run at third. Durbin the go-ahead run at second. And a fly ball not very deep and right. On comes Benj. Is he going to get there? He backhands it. No! He did not make the catch, and the Red Sox tie the game. With the infield in, Short couldn't get back, and Benj, despite his efforts, could not quite get there. And the Red Sox have gotten even on a pop fly single by Jaron Duran to tie the game at 2.
Well, just a full swing on the airbender. Gets it off the end of the bat. There's no chance the Short is going to get there. Benj had to come from deep in right field to try to make this play. And the runners did a great job. The first runner at third base, he's got to read it, and then he'll score. But the other 2 base runners could have been forced out if they didn't go halfway. Halfway ensured that they would get the next base, and that was the difference there to not record an out.
So Devin Williams, undone by Francisco Lindor's error on what could have been a game-ending double play, blows his 3rd save of the season. And now the Red Sox have the go-ahead run at third with 1 out, and Masataka Yoshida is going to bat for Nate Eaton, trying to get that lead run home.
Well, the last 15 games for Yoshida have been his best this season for the Red Sox. 929 OPS. Benj with the hustle, just nothing you could do. Sun didn't help as well, but laid out the best he could. Yoshida, good changeup hitter.
He had a 2-run homer yesterday. The infield back at double play depth, and Yoshida takes outside, ball 1. Yoshida had 2 doubles in the first game of the series, a 2-run homer against Tobias Myers yesterday. Durbin the go-ahead run at third, Monasterio at second, Duran at first. And Yoshida lines one, caught by Short, throw to second, double play, side retired. Oh, wow. A bullet off the bat of Yoshida turns into a 4-6 double play. The Red Sox get even, but the Mets get the double play to keep them from taking the lead. Well, what a top of the 9th inning. Francisco Lindor's error opened the door, and the Red Sox tied the game, but the Mets got a line drive double play to get out of it. And now, Aroldis Chapman, who at age 38 is an all-star this season, comes on to try and get this game to extra innings.
He has more strikeouts than any reliever in the history of the game, 1,366. Still throws over 100 miles an hour. Giant of a reliever, giant of a man.
Monasterio moves from shortstop to first. Sung Chae Chang comes in to play shortstop, and Masataka Yoshida, who lined into that double play, stays in left field. Francisco Lindor has had a big day, but a star-crossed day now leads off against Chapman. Lindor has provided all the Mets offense with a double and a home run, but he also booted a double play ball that could have ended the game and allowed the Red Sox to tie it. So he's basically responsible for all 4 runs in this game. Now looking to be responsible for a 5th. Swings and misses at the off-speed pitch, and this is where Chapman has changed. He doesn't throw nearly as hard as he once did.
No, but he can get it up there around 100 miles an hour every once in a while, but he'll split it with that slider and split finger combo.
1-1 to Lindor. Jared Young is on deck. Lindor lays off the slider. 2 balls and a strike.
I don't think the TV does him justice. Chapman is a mountain of a person.
6'4", 235 pounds. Lindor chops one foul. Francisco is 2 for 6 in his career against Chapman. The Mets brought in Young to play first base for defense in the last inning. Don't know if Jorge Polanco is available to pinch hit. 2-2 coming. And a pop-up on the infield. Seager, the second baseman, calling. 1 out. Problem is that Polanco bats, he probably can't play the field, and the same is probably true of Bichette.
Yes.
So that really hamstrings the decision making for Andy Green, so they'll leave Young in to face the lefty. He spins a breaking ball in for a strike, nothing in 1. Oh, what a difference. You used to see Chapman come in and throw 103, and that's really all he threw.
That's all he needed.
And I'll become a craftsman. And he's as good as ever.
That's drilled into right field for a base hit. How about that? Young getting on the breaking ball against Chapman and pulling it into right, and the Mets have a potential winning run aboard.
But sticking your nose in there. Impressive by Mr. Young. A little hanging slider. He threw a hanging slider in the first pitch too, and Abreu was thinking about being aggressive and making this play, but
Can't do that.
much better choice there.
You miss it, now it's a triple. You're in the soup. Here's Carson Bench, who's 0 for 3 today, and he takes a fastball just below the knees for ball 1.
A young player like Benj would know about Chapman only from video games.
Bench already has 2 walk-off RBIs in his rookie season. And that slider in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
He might not throw 100 anymore, but he's got the reputation of throwing 100. That's why those sliders that are spinners in the middle of the plate are getting strikes.
Bench fights off a fastball, and it's 1-2. Tyrone Taylor, the on-deck batter. Mets have had 5 walk-off wins this year.
Chapman throwing 97. There was a time when he threw 7 to 8 miles an hour faster than that.
Imagine that.
Is that crazy?
This came up with the Reds in 2010. They wanted to make him a starting pitcher for a while. Well, he found his niche. 1-2. And Bench just got a piece in and out of the glove of Long. Aroldis Chapman last week passed Hoyt Wilhelm to become the all-time relief strikeout leader. Hoyt Wilhelm, a knuckleballer, was in the big leagues for more than 2 decades. Wade played for a bunch of different teams. 1-2 coming. Struck him out with a fastball, 100 miles an hour from Chapman for the second out.
Well, like I said before, he sits around 97 now, but if he needs it, he rear back and can find 100. Triple digits. Oh, you see Terens in the background in the on-deck circle trying to get his timing on.
So now Tyrone Taylor, who's walked and doubled today, 1 for 2. Young at first with 2 out. And Taylor swings and misses at a splitter from Chapman, 0-1. Big hole on the right side for Taylor. Monasterio holding the runner at first. Sails up and away, a ball and a strike. Anyway, talking about Hoyt Wilhelm, you know, he wasn't a reliever most of his career.
Yeah.
But when he was with the Orioles in 1958, he started the game against the Yankees, and he threw a no-hitter. It's not bad for a guy who normally pitched in relief, right? Those didn't count against the reliever strikeout record. Taylor drives one out to left, but right there is Yoshida, and we're going to extra innings. A hit and 1 left after 9. Mets and Red Sox tied at 2. Well, the Mets are in a familiar position. They're playing extra innings.
Yep.
Mets are 8-6 in extra innings this year. They were on the verge of a win. 1 out, 1 on, double play ball, but Lindor booted it for an error, and the Red Sox took advantage.
Well, they really did. They had some real good at-bats against Williams, forcing a run there. And then this one just kind of luck. With the infield in, Duran dropped it in front of Bench to score the tying run.
Now Masataka Yoshida is the free runner. Connor Wong the batter. Brooks Redley the pitcher, and Wong gets the bunt down. Beatty throws him out, so they go to the sacrifice as the visiting team, which is an interesting strategy. Normally you want to play for multiple runs if you're the visiting team in these extra inning rules.
Yeah, you figure one is given that you're playing for that second run, but you know what? They're on such a high. They figure as though if they get a run across, they can hold it in the 10th. There's Raley's numbers.
So now Anthony Siegler with the infield in. He's gone 0 for 4 today, 2 for 14 in the series. And the backdoor sweeper is called a ball. See, here's the math. I looked this up yesterday. Yeah. When a team has a runner at second with nobody out, like you do in extra innings, the run expectancy, likelihood that a run's going to score in that inning, is 62%.
Okay.
So you're already ahead of the game. That's lined out to left. That'll get the run in. Taylor goes back to get it. And Yoshida will come in with the lead run. It's 3-2 Boston. So they plate the lead run, but now 2 out and nobody on. With Rafaela coming up. In the bottom of the 10th, the Mets will have Taylor, a fast man, as the free runner. With Terens, Beatty, and Short due up. They still have Bichette, Alvarez, and Polanco left on the bench. Is that Whitlock? Yeah, Garrett Whitlock up in the Boston bullpen. And Rafaela takes a strike.
I'm with you, Gary, 90% of the time, because you know I always say it. When you're on the road, you got to score 2+. But if you put into account what kind of game the Red Sox had to play yesterday with their bullpen, and I know you got many days off, I think they just feel an 8-game win streak. They just want to get ahead of the Mets, put the pressure on the Mets without a bad first half, and they'll figure it out pitching-wise, even with the runner on second for the Mets.
Rafaela pokes one out to right. Long run for Bench toward the line. He gets there to make the catch to retire the side. So the Red Sox get the 1 run. Now the Mets come to bat in the bottom of the 10th, down 3-2. Garrett Whitlock has 11 saves in his career, 1 this season.
Whitlock's numbers don't lie. He's had a strong year. See the strikeouts, the innings pitched. He might need a couple strikeouts in this inning. Interesting. You have Taylor as the runner, and you have Torrens who's coming up. Well, maybe not. Maybe Polanco is going to get the hit.
Well, this is interesting because, you know, you had a guy who would naturally go to right field in Torrens, but you're going to use Polanco as the pinch hitter.
And Torrens was, I think, one of the best Mets bunters, in case you chose to go that way as well. All right.
Polanco started the first 2 games of this series, went 1 for 8. Mets at least have got to get Taylor to third base. You got Beatty and then Short behind him, probably Alvarez to hit for Short. And Polanco swinging at the first fastball, fouls it back, 0-1.
Whitlock's got a cutter, throws hard, but he's got a great changeup. That's his equalizer.
Mets got a couple of base hits against him on Friday. One, the Ewing hit off his foot, and then Soto blooped one, but then he got out of it. Polanco 0 for 5 in his career against Whitlock. He has 1 home run this year. And he's tied up badly on that sinker. And it's 1-2.
He will just keep pounding left-handers in with the hard stuff and then soft away.
Got to at least get this ball on the right side. Taylor at second, nobody out. And Polanco goes down swinging on the changeup for a huge first down for Whitlock.
It's as good as any right-handed changeup in the league, and that includes Devin Williams. He set it up nicely with the hard stuff in. That ball starts in, and then the bottom drops out.
So 1 out. Now Brett Beatty, who's gone 0 for 3 today. Taylor at second with 1 out. And Beatty flies one foul, that'll go out of play. Red Sox have pitched so well during this stretch. During their 8-game winning streak, their team ERA is 1.50. Today they got 3 2/3 out of Peyton Tolley, 1 run. 3 1/3 out of Brian Bayo, 1 run. And then a scoreless 9th from Chapman. Fly ball out to left field. Taylor goes back to tag as Yoshida gets under it and makes the catch, but Taylor will stay put, and now the Mets are down to their final out. And now it's going to be Bo Bichette to bat for Zach Short. Bichette's sitting out these last 3 games as a starter because of all the bruises on his legs. He came up as a pinch hitter yesterday and drew a walk, and now getting a pinch hitting assignment, trying to keep the Mets alive in the 10th inning. Whitlock misses up and away for ball 1. Bichette is 2 for 10 in his career against Garrett Whitlock. Taylor with good speed at second. Got great arms in center and in right. Rafaela and Abreu.
Pitch to hit here for Bichette.
If he gets on, then A.J. Ewing would be next. Bichette gets an off-speed pitch and flies it toward the right field line. Abreu hoping for room, and it's out of play. 2-1. And Bichette fouls it back, and the Mets are down to their final strike. Mets have the Red Sox shut out until 1 out of the 9th. Now Boston 1 strike away from a win. 2-2. Outside, full count to Bichette. Whitlock has not walked many. 1.7 walks per 9 this year.
All fastballs and one slider. Does he go to his change?
3-2. Popped up. Will it stay in play? Wong coming back, and it's out of play. And Bichette gets another life.
Good job by Bichette. That was the changeup. Just got it off the end of the bat.
Oscar Brazoban up in the Mets bullpen, ready for the 11th if it arrives. Zach Thornton did his job today. Seventh pitch coming to Bichette. And he grounds one down to first. Monasterio's got it, and the Red Sox have swept this 3-game series as they win their 9th in a row. The best of times and worst of times for Francisco Lindor, who drove in both Met runs, but his error in the 9th cost the Mets, and the Red Sox win it in 10, 3-2.
The Red Sox end the first half on some kind of heater. 9 in a row, where every game they seem to find the right hit or a well-pitched game to keep the streak going. And for the Mets, kind of emblematic of their whole first half. In a lot of games, never can find that right hit or their right out to win those close games.
In their last 22 games before the All-Star break, the Mets go 6-16, and they arrive at the All-Star break 17 games under 500, the furthest under 500 they've been at the All-Star break since 1995. There's your game.